Good evening and welcome to Royal Daily Report. Tonight we bring you shocking testimony from someone who lived inside Meghan and Harry's California mansion. A former nanny who says what she saw was nothing like the smiling family photos. Her account will change everything you thought you knew. Meghan's former nanny has finally stepped forward. She lived inside the mansion, working long days where real life should have unfolded. But almost nothing matched the public story. She claims the house felt staged, routines felt rehearsed, and truth about Archie and Lilibet was hidden behind thick silence. She's done pretending. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report. We bring investigations no other channel will touch. Hit subscribe. The nanny didn't speak for attention. She spoke because the story told to the world didn't match reality she lived daily. She worked inside, cleaned rooms, moved through halls, served the family directly. She saw arguments, quiet days, rules, tension, everything when cameras weren't around. The public image of their home life wasn't the world she saw. She describes a place strangely empty, too quiet, too controlled, too carefully managed. Something wasn't normal, and silence alone was its own story. The nanny worked 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week, arrived before sunrise, left after dark, moved through every part of the house. Yet she never saw Archie or Lilibet. Not in passing, not by accident, not once. No toys left out, no tiny clothes in laundry, no soft cries, no laughter, no footsteps running. For a home with 2 small children, the mansion was shockingly silent. Other staff noticed the same thing. They whispered about the strange absence but never dared say it out loud. Everyone expected to see the children eventually. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months. Still nothing. For the nanny, this wasn't rumor. It was daily experience. If the children lived there, she never saw a sign. The nanny's confusion started earlier with Meghan's pregnancy. During her time there, she never once saw Meghan pregnant. Not with Archie, not with Lilibet, not with any visible signs. She insists on this with complete certainty. Pregnancy bumps, seen in public photos and documentaries, did not match the Meghan she saw behind closed doors. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report so you don't miss updates. Subscribe now. Other staff shared the same observation, quietly wondering how public image could be so different from private reality. The nanny refused to lie. If she never saw a pregnancy, she wouldn't pretend she did. She kept silence for years, hoping someone would address the gaps. No one did. So she stepped forward, bringing the first crack to a perfectly polished story. First thing new staff learned, privacy did not exist. Phones taken at the gate. Bags checked for hidden devices. Even lunch breaks monitored. The house didn't feel like a family home. It felt like a controlled zone. Staff spoke softly, moved carefully, avoided staying in hallways too long. Cameras everywhere. No one knew which were active or who watched the feeds. The atmosphere made it almost impossible to act naturally. Even small mistakes felt dangerous, because no one knew where footage would end up. The level of control said one thing. This household was determined to hide something. Meghan had personal conditions that never appeared on paper. Most surprising, the nanny could not be too attractive. Not glamorous, not camera-ready. Just plain, someone who'd blend in and never draw attention. This wasn't about jealousy. It was about image. Meghan wanted to be the center of her own home, the standout presence. A nanny with strong physical presence could shift the balance. The nanny had to be invisible, but perfect. Available at all hours, unfailingly loyal, ready to disappear into background whenever cameras entered. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report. We investigate what others won't. Meghan wasn't just hiring help. She was building an image, and everyone was expected to protect it. Once the interview moved past the surface, real expectations appeared. The nanny had to live a life built around the Sussex household, not her own needs. Always available, day or night. If family needed something at 3 a.m., be ready. No romantic attachments. No spouse, no boyfriend, no girlfriend. Nothing that could divide attention. No children of her own. Family wanted exclusive focus on Archie and Lilibet, who, ironically, the nanny never actually saw. Instant relocation without notice. Pack a bag before asking questions. Travel could happen suddenly. Loyalty meant obeying immediately. These rules created a job that wasn't a job. It was a controlled lifestyle. The nanny felt cut off from her own world, tied to a home where secrets outweighed comfort. The interview process didn't begin with a handshake. It began long before candidates brought in for a trial shift, but the nanny realized it was a silent audition. Hidden cameras watched everything. How she spoke to staff, moved through rooms, handled stress. By the time she met Meghan and Harry in person, it felt like they already knew her. Every habit, every mistake, every expression when she thought no one was looking. The in-person interview was more final check than true conversation, just confirming the person on camera matched the one standing there. Life inside that mansion wasn't built on trust. It was built on surveillance. Before the nanny search began, Harry had a clear vision. He wanted a Norland nanny, the elite, disciplined caregivers who raised him and William. Uniforms, routines, training, tradition. A model that worked for generations. But Meghan allegedly rejected it immediately. She wanted a modern approach. No uniforms, no old royal systems, no strict schedules. A nanny from her world, not the Windsor world. This disagreement set an early tone. It showed the divide between Harry's past and Meghan's future. Two different ideas of home, parenting, identity. From that moment on, child care decisions followed Meghan's vision, not Harry's. When the Netflix documentary was released, the nanny watched with curiosity, wondering how the home she knew would be presented. But as scenes appeared, her confusion grew. The rooms shown didn't match the real layout. The cozy garden moments didn't match how the family actually lived. The children, laughing, playing, being carried around, didn't match the silence she experienced daily. Even the famous chicken coop moment felt like a production choice, not real life. She saw Meghan visit the coop, but never with Archie or Lilibet. The coop was clean, staged, ready whenever cameras arrived. The documentary wasn't a window into the Sussex home. It was a carefully arranged story designed to look natural, even though reality was nothing like what was shown. As the nanny pieced together memories, long shifts, empty rooms, quiet hallways, household wrapped in secrecy, one question kept returning. If people who lived and worked there daily never saw Archie or Lilibet, where were they? The nanny says Meghan was rarely home unless cameras were present. She saw staged moments, not natural ones. A marriage that looked like a business arrangement, not a warm household. Rules, surveillance, performances, but no signs of the children she was supposedly hired to support. As she watched the world believe a version she never witnessed, she realized her silence was helping keep the illusion alive. So she chose to speak. Her story doesn't end with answers. It ends with a shadow. A lingering mystery hanging over a family that promised transparency and authenticity. A mystery built on locked doors, controlled scenes, and children missing from daily life of their own home. This has been Royal Daily Report. Tonight, we've presented testimony from a nanny who worked inside Meghan's home and says the children were never there. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report so you don't miss updates. We investigate what others hide. Subscribe now. Until the truth behind those gates is revealed, one question remains. What were Meghan and Harry really hiding? This is Royal Daily Report. Thank you for watching.